Hey guys, it's Kevin. I am back, and I have to say, okay, 13 days ago, 2 weeks ago, I made this video showing cursor and my workflow for using Storybook, and my gosh, guys, look at all these views. This is crazy. Honestly, it's kind of blowing my mind, the response to this video. I love that you guys are excited about this approach. I'm excited about it. I've been using it a few times since then. It's just repeatable. It works great. For today, I want to show you the next step. So we built a nice front end. Everything looks nice. It doesn't do anything, right? The most worthless app of all time. But we're really close. And what's nice about this is, if you remember, so this is what we built last time. We have this basic form. There's a lot of data that we're entering in here. If you guys remember, I built this as sort of a test bench for a browser agent that I'm working on. And my next step is I actually need to gather the data, and I need to compare it and see what's happening. And so we need to wire this thing up, okay? So this video today is going to be about how to use a similar technique to kind of build out that next phase, kind of end to end, make it really clean, some tools and techniques for using AI coding, and hopefully this will be helpful for you guys. All right, so to start off, what are we gonna do? We're gonna start with our usual approach, which is, oh, here's all my environment variables, don't show that. These are examples, guys, don't worry. What we're doing is we have a template, okay? So the general approach here, we're gonna take a template, we're gonna send this over to a very smart model, in this case, a One Pro. And basically what we're doing here is we're saying we want a set of very detailed, comprehensive instructions to create a full database schema and API. Okay, you guys can read through this. I'll share this online. And if you guys haven't seen it, there is an open source repo that I put together. I'll put a link in the description. But it's got all the tools, everything's all set up for you. I've got these templates, and so hopefully it'll be really easy for you guys to use. I would also recommend, if you haven't seen that first video, go ahead and do the first video, follow along, and then you'll be able to pick up right from here where we left off. Okay, so let's not copy this yet. Let's grab our code. Our favorite tool, RepoPrompt. You guys have seen this, hopefully. Okay, so I basically went through here. I selected our files. As usual, you sort tokens high to low. You check to make sure you're not over the limit here. And then just copy all this. Pretty easy. Okay, we're gonna paste into our code base. There's a bunch of stuff there. Hopefully we got it. And then we jump over to ChatGPT. Now, again, lucky I've got the $200 thing. You don't need it. You can do O3 Mini. You can probably also use the new Gemini for this. I think I've been using that. That's pretty good. And so, again, you guys can look at this. We've got all these things in here. But high level, we are asking for a detailed, markdown, numbered list of the tasks that are needed to actually implement the whole database layer, to implement the API, and to implement and wire everything up and make it work end to end with very little assistance from us. Hopefully, we'll see. Okay, now we need a database. Now you can use whatever you guys want. I personally am a fan of Supabase. I think it's kind of easy to use. It's relatively cheap. So yeah, you can just go in here, create a new project. I've started filling this part out because it's boring to watch me fill out forms. But we'll just go ahead and create this new project. And I'll tell you what, I will, we'll save. I probably should have saved that password. Oh well. Okay. These are, okay, I'm going to make sure I'm not like giving away all my secrets here. You guys are going to like use all this stuff, but I think we're good. So once this gets set up, we're going to be able to come in here and grab two very specific URLs. And let me jump into my code. As I was showing earlier, I'm not going to show my actual .env file because I've got all my secret keys in there. I really don't want to have to redo all those. But the two that we're looking for today are the database URL and the direct URL. Okay, so these are very similar. It just has to do with the way that serverless databases connect and the pooling and all this stuff. Okay, the direct URL we probably don't need. These are more for migrations. Actually, we do need them. Those are for the migrations. The database URL is more for when you're in production. You're actually using this with a bunch of users trying to connect at the same time. And so, again, this is the example, but you guys would go in. You can copy this, make this a .env, fill this out with all your own keys. And then we're using Prisma for our database. So lots of ORMs out there. I personally like Prisma. The reason why I'm choosing Prisma is it's actually really good with LLMs. This whole stack up and down have been chosen because for the most part, they're pretty verbose. They're well understood, especially by Sonnet. And so they just work. Guys, it works. I'm not gonna change stuff that works. I know there's like flame wars. Everybody's got their favorite ORMs, and people love Prisma, people hate Prisma, people love Supabase. Just choose the stuff that works for you. Okay, this works for me. If you guys don't have any strong preferences, it's a good starting point. And we got our new project. Okay, so they got this cool thing here, this connect. Okay, I'm gonna connect in here. Guys, I think I forgot to grab my password for this, so I don't know if this is going to work. But you can jump over here. This is really nice. We've got these ORM pieces here. Guys, I forgot my password. I don't know if I'll be able to get that back. So anyway, we'll probably go through here. I'm gonna we'll cut this out. Actually, I don't even think we necessarily need it. Maybe we'll run a migration or two. But for the most part, you will grab these. Okay, database URL, direct URL, and just go ahead and paste these into your .env. Not going to do that here, but very straightforward. You got your two things here, and that should just work for you. Okay, so what are we doing now? Oh yeah, let's check our little chat GPT. Let's see what we got. Hopefully it's been churning for a while. We got this. This is so long, sorry. All the way down. Where's my little thing? There we go. There we go. Okay, so we got some tasks. All right, so let's take a look at this, what we were added in here. Ooh, we got a lot of stuff. This is good. Okay, so first thing we're doing, we are adding all these models to Prisma. Okay, we've got this. Added. Security measure. Okay, cool. So it looks like it's added a bunch of models there. These are mapped. You know, what's nice about using Storybook is Storybook has already defined all of the data in these stories. And so now when I pass this to O1 Pro has that context. And it's actually quite easy for it to look and see, oh yeah, for this component, for this story, here's all the sample data that was put in there. And so it knows, right? It knows if it's a Boolean, it knows if it's a string, if it's required, all this stuff, if it's datetime, right? This is awesome. This is really, really useful. And it's doing a great job here. We'll see how this actually works in practice. But, you know, just looking at this, I can tell you guys, we're getting a really long list of things to do. And this is going to get us far, very far in our actual work that we need to do. Okay. Let's yellow this. I'm going to copy this in here. And we're going to see what happens when we run it. Okay. So, okay, you guys have seen this before, hopefully. We go to our cursor tasks. This is, again, this is, call this whatever you want. I just use this here. This is all set up. Now, remember, we're using this little trick here of having these little check marks here. And actually, let me see if I have. Sometimes, let me do this. I'm going to leave that little bit of instruction in there just so I don't have to retype that. But watching me scroll, that's so fun. Okay, so we have our numbered list of tasks. Okay. Okay, so this isn't quite exactly what we want to do. What to build. Okay. So assume usage of Next.js. Okay, great. This is fine. I don't even know if we need all this detail. And actually, I don't even know. Like, I can just, you know what? I'm just gonna get rid of this. We don't need it. Do not need. Okay. What we're going to do instead is we are going to just ask this agent to start going. Okay, start cooking. All right. So please complete each task. When you are finished, check it off and move to the next one. I'm just going to give it a little bit of thing, a little bit of context here. Builds are safe. Please work continuously without stopping. Commit after each task and update the progress. Something like this. We'll just kick this off. We'll see how it does. Okay. So we're going to run this here. And this is just going to start going. Okay. So it's looking at the current schema. It's updating it. And it's going to try to add that in there. Now I'm going to review this as we go, just to kind of see. So here's our existing Prisma schema. This has just the basics in terms of authentication. If you guys see my starter template, I've already kind of set it up for just a few basics for logging in, using next auth. Ooh, look at all this fun stuff here. I love it. So look at all these fields. Again, just coming up with the names for these fields is such a pain, right? So to be able to do all of this in here, we got these little examples, we have all these relations all set up. Okay, this looks great. Oh, okay, we forgot to set up our thing here. So this is what I hate about Prisma. I gotta be really careful. I think I have an old database connection in here in this project because I just copied over an old .emp. We almost deleted all this data. No, please don't. Why is this even an option, guys? This is so dumb. So let's cancel this. Hopefully I don't hit something. Let's go ahead and stop here. Okay, go ahead and stop. I'm going to pause the video right here. I'm going to go and get my actual database password and everything set up here, and then we'll keep going. All right. Yes, we're back. We got everything squared away. Luckily, I had that database password saved, so I think we got it all set up here. And hopefully I remember to edit out that part of the video that shows all of my secret keys and passwords. So if not, please don't steal all my stuff. Okay, so basically we just did a restore here. So let me fix it. Let me see if it's going to keep going here. I might need to kick it off. Continue, come on. There we go. Okay, so now it's going to continue on here. It like made a little mistake, and it's going to add this, and then I'm going to keep an eye on this for when it. Okay, so it's going to do the migration. Okay, so it's doing an install. That's fine. The Prisma. Oh, it's running Prisma generate. It could just run that by itself, but that's okay. Okay, let's just check this migration, and then I'm gonna move on. Let's go ahead and run this. Hopefully this works. Now, guys, I'm doing this a little bit yellow mode where I'm just there we go. It worked. I'm just going directly to that database. You know, you guys can to do this the right way. You do the local version of Supabase. You can run a local version. You can have a staging. You can do all this stuff. That's a safe command. Run it. All right. My yellow rules say, hey, anything that's safe, go ahead and run it. So I'm just telling it so that I'll keep going. Oh, you're right. Thank you. So it's going. But again, Supabase, this isn't a Supabase tutorial, but running your stuff locally, do that. But I'm kind of yellowing here, so it's all good. Okay, so it's going to keep going. Now, let's take a step back here and look at exactly what we are doing. So we're using something called TRPC, okay? TRPC, what does this stand for? I think it stands for TypeScript Remote Procedure Calls. Doesn't really matter, okay? Basically what it's doing is, you know, you've got your typical API endpoint where you have, okay, you guys have used, hopefully you've used Next and are familiar with the way the API endpoints work. I've got some API endpoints here. You know, for example, that's next. This is a good one. So this is just like a basic endpoint, right? This is to upload a file to S3. I think. Yes. And so this is very standard. Okay. You put in this form, it's got a file, it returns it back, and it returns back this URL. Now, this works, but the problem with this is it's not type safe. So when you do your front end and your back end, it doesn't really know what's what. And so you can run into some issues, especially as you're doing AI coding, where you just might get some mismatches, and there's no real good way for the TypeScript compiler to basically tell Cursor that there's a problem. Okay, so in comes TRPC. TRPC is basically a way to have end-to-end type safety from your front end all the way down to your back end. And so it kind of looks like you're just calling a function from the front end. You get all the linting errors, you get all the stuff up front. It uses something called Zod, which is a great runtime validation. A lot of cool things that you get with TRPC. Now, one of the downsides of TRPC is there's a lot of boilerplate. So again, guys, I set all this up for you. But at the end of the day, it really is just a post request with a big gnarly body of stuff in there that you don't have to worry about too much. But here's one of the endpoints. This is boilerplate again. We have some more boilerplate stuff somewhere in here. Yeah, so TRPC, we've got some of these helpers for the client, for React, for the server. And I think we have our main bit of information. Oh, here's another bit of kind of boilerplate that just comes with it. Again, don't worry about this stuff too much. You can dig into it if you want. But I find once you set all this stuff up, it's quite straightforward in terms of what TRPC is doing. Oh, it's already doing stuff. This is awesome. Okay, so basically what happens is you start with your root, and your root is really just kind of, it's a way to kind of delegate off so you don't have all of your functions in one giant file. You can kind of separate these out into these different routes here. So we have this router here that is pretty straightforward. Okay, so this is what your TRPC router looks like. And then you have these functions that are basically database calls, okay? Usually, I mean, you can do whatever you want in here, business logic. But for our case here, again, this is a fairly straightforward, you're filling out a form, you're saving it to the database, so there's nothing too fancy here. But you can kind of see how this works, okay? There's a couple nice things, so you can have some middleware here. These are protected, right? You gotta be logged in to do it. You can set up like admin routes, you can set all sorts of things up there. But for this, again, AI is really good at this. Sonnet's been really good about creating these. And because it's using all this nice Zod schema here, see the Zod schema? We're looking for an ID that's a string. That's great. That's very helpful. And it's returning something in a structured format. We can see exactly what that looks like. The front end's going to know that too. And so it's going to help. Keep going. Hey, Cursor, if you're listening, let us run like 50 at a time, okay? So anyway, so we're doing some basic CRUD stuff here, right? We're creating a PIA, we're updating it. You can see all these optionals, all this stuff here. TRPC is great. I'm a huge fan. Look at all this. This is so nice. This is like boilerplate code that's just so annoying to write, okay? It's great just to have this all kind of working out of the box. Wow, look at all this stuff. We got all sorts of things in here. Now, this is a little bit of a long file. I would actually prefer to have this a little bit shorter, but this is an optimization step, right? You can just kind of move, let it work first. You can optimize later. But this isn't crazy. I mean, this file is, 200 lines long. That's okay. It's close enough. And you can see it's just like, it's going. This is great. Okay, and then let's look at what it's doing on the front end. Okay, so this is back end. This is our lib. What are we doing? I see some yellow. All right. Okay, so you can see what it's done. So we have pulled in this API. This is one of our helpers, and this is how you're going to call that TRPC. Okay. We have our page. We have the sample database. Okay, you can see this. Look at this. So we have our mutations here. These are the ways that we update it. And we have all this stuff up here. So we put in the save handler. Okay. So we're removing the risks. It's doing a bunch of stuff here. Guys, I have to look at the front end to actually understand. But this all feels like stuff that is pretty straightforward for when you're filling out a form. You're updating some things, you're removing anything that's been removed. It's kind of taking off some of the, see how it's console log there? Now we're actually building this out for real. So this is really cool to see that. And yeah, it's pulling in real data instead of the sample data. And this all looks really cool. The sample knowledge base. Okay, this is great. So we're like wiring this thing up. It's adding interfaces. It's adding all this production ready stuff, right? This is so cool. I love it. I love it. Okay, so and it's just going. It's just going. It is just going. It's building our app for us. This is so great. It's not checking. Oh, guys, we're not checking. Come on, cursor. You gotta check. You gotta check. But it seems to be going, okay, let me see what it's doing here. So it wired up the validation page. We can see at the top here. It's kind of nice how we have this little thing here. Oh, we're already at number 7? This is great. Okay, we might even have, I was going to pause this and here I am like an hour later. This is just crushing it. This is just going. So we've got this. Try again with the right file path. Thank you. Uh-oh, I see some red. It's got some. See, this is a nice thing, right? The TypeScript errors. It sees that error, and especially with this TRPC, it's able to fix it right away instead of it having all these random type errors. And so when you guys go to run your project and you're hitting these endpoints and getting crazy errors, you don't know what's happening. Okay, TRPC fixes that for you. Again, boilerplate, it's kind of annoying, but it is very, very helpful. Okay, so I hope you guys like this kind of content. This is really just a way to get some things going. This pattern works, okay? AI-friendly pieces of technology. You use the big reasoning model with a template, and you get a checklist of things, and then you let it go, okay? Especially when you're just starting off, and this is more of kind of a validation, make sure that this thing works. This is a great way to start a new code base from scratch. Now, I showed another video earlier this week of an existing code base. I had my boss with this video, and I was able to convert that into some tasks. I was working on that all day today. That's kind of my day-to-day when it comes to some real updates on a bigger code base. But I really want to show off the speed of getting a new app up and going. This is a really exciting kind of new way to build software, and to do it in a way that is really kind of has that production quality. Okay, we haven't added unit tests, we haven't added a bunch of things in here yet, but again, use the same format. You replace TRPC, you replace Storybook with unit tests, with Jest, with whatever you're doing, and it'll just work. I can guarantee it. Okay, so if you guys haven't actually tried this, please try it. Let me know what you think. Leave some comments. This is really kind of a fun, exciting thing. I love the responses that I've gotten from the first video, so really excited to be able to show you the second one. You can just see it going. It's so nice. Okay, so I'm going to pause here, and yeah, hope you guys like this, and I will see you soon. Okay, I'm back. I just wanted to show the final result here. I was kind of in a hurry last night, had to catch the bus, so here I am. It's the next morning. But just so you guys can see on the right-hand side, I tried to get this to a place where we left off with the last video. And let me just show you what it did. And part of why I'm showing this is, with the Storybook story, it took about an hour to do all this stuff. This one was really fast, okay? I think we ended up here. It did a few more minutes of coding, and then it basically was just like, it was done. It was done. One shot, I didn't do anything here. I did log in and tried to use it, and I realized that I didn't actually hook up the main page to the auth. So I tried to get in. It wasn't letting me in properly, right? Because it was authenticated. That's actually a good thing. But I did say, hey, let's update this root page. It took a few minutes. I had some mock data in there. Nothing too fancy here, a minor error, and got this. This is about 5 minutes of extra work. But besides this, I want to show you. This is the app. let's take a look at what this is, okay? Now, remember again, this is a kind of form filling app for like a privacy thing. We're kind of doing some sample data here. Why don't you guys check this out? Because this is, I think, gonna be pretty cool. All right, so we got our loading state. It's checking to see if I'm authenticated. I had just logged in. If you guys want to implement auth with my next starter, you'll need to sign up for resend, which is like an email sending. I have a magic link set up. You can look at NextAuth. You can set it up for name, password, whatever, a bunch of different things you can do there. I just set mine up for magic email because that's pretty straightforward. Do what you want with it. But okay, so here we are. So here's our app. Now this looks the same as what we saw before, kind of for our our storybook, but this again wasn't hooked up to real data. And here we go. So we're gonna do this here, sample project. This is a cool system. I don't know, I'm just putting some, right, guys, we're just trying this out. Data controller 1, I don't know. Third party, I'm probably spelling this wrong. Okay, let's go to the next. Aha! So we saved it, hopefully. And let's just see how this worked. Like, let's see where, oh, there's Supabase. Got this set up. Oh, there we go. Okay, so first of all, look at this. We have all these tables that are added in here. And let's see if we actually saved that data. There we go. Okay, sample project, cool system. I did spell it right. It's saving the data, right? One shot, it's doing all this stuff. Now, again, it's not a super complex thing. We're gonna have to go through and double check this, but like, my gosh, look at all these fields, look at all these things that we didn't have to do. It added all of these tables. It added all of the APIs. We have full login, we have authentication, we have all of this stuff that's just ready to go. This is so exciting. So again, part of what I'm trying to show you guys here is two-pronged approach. Know how to do the prompts, get some of these tricks, understand how and when and why to prompt Cursor and whatever AI tool you want. On the other side, build using a stack that is AI enabled and that allows you to do some of these things very quickly. Now, you guys can choose your own language. Everybody's got their own favorite frameworks and stuff, but this is a legit kind of production level stack. I've done a bunch of companies over the past 7-8 years, and we've this is a stack that I would use for a real startup that's going off raising money. This isn't a snake game. This isn't HTML garbage that you throw away. This is a real production level stack. Okay, this is different from what you might see in some of the other demos. It might be a little flashier, a little bit whatever. This stuff works, and it's so cool to be able to kind of take this two-prong approach. And again, just knowing that you're building from the ground up with these AI enhanced frameworks, you're going to be able to go much, much faster than the competition when you're building a real company. So hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Going to have lots of videos. Going to try to do about 2 videos a week with sort of advanced topics. Really want to dive into Cursor internals and kind of how Cursor works, so you guys can learn this from first principles. So I think that'll be my next video. But if you guys have other ideas, comments, let me know. Happy to help out.